presented by AT&T. It is rocking here at McHale Center, just about ready to go. Let's bring in Maria Taylor.
Well, Dan, if you would have asked Arizona's head coach Sean Miller if he believed that his team would be 26-3 and leading the Pac-12 back in late December, he said he would have called you crazy and said that would be out of the question because of all the adversity that they've dealt with. 6 scholarship players have missed games. They've dealt with a career-ending injury, a season-ending injury, but he said there hasn't been a more resilient team in the nation, and that is going to pay very big dividends late in the season.
They have had a great year, and listen to the great support they get here in Tucson. Underway, Wildcat ball. Kadeem Allen starts at the point, Bryce Alford on him. And you can hear the deafening U of A chant.
UCLA starting out in man-to-man. This is a team that will play a good bit of 3-2 zone with Lonzo Ball out top, but starting in man.
Dusan Ristic double team.
Good pass.
Alkins the penetration, left it a little bit short, and it's Bruins ball. And here comes Lonzo Ball. Outstanding freshman at point guard, leading the nation in assists, and just one of the great talents in the country. He will launch and miss the 3. Great offensive rebound, Thomas Welsh, and a fresh 30 for UCLA.
Boy, Thomas Welsh averaging close to 9 rebounds per game.
Hamilton off balance with a spinning bank shot, and Isaac Hamilton gives the Bruins the first bucket of the night.
He needed that to go. Only had 2 points against Arizona State in his last 6 games. Only 4 of 25 from three-point range.
Strong drive, Alonzo Trier.
Anytime Trier can get to that right hand, he is really effective, and he has been outstanding over his last 2 games.
This is only his 11th game of the season after the suspension earlier this year. Cost him 19 games. We'll tell you about that as time allows. As Leaf gets inside, and this is kind of a subplot in a game that has many subplots to it. Leaf originally committed to Arizona, then decommitted and decided to go to UCLA.
Well, Leaf has a great matchup along with Lauri Markkanen. And how about that catch and finish by Leaf? Hesitated and then stayed in the air before he released it to avoid getting that shot blocked.
Now the rebound, this time of the defensive glass by Welsh. Bryce Alford pulls up for a long 3. And the senior misses it badly, and here's from the crowd right off the get-go. Now Arizona coughs it up.
Boy, that was a bad turnover by Arizona. They could have taken advantage of that shot by Alford.
And that will be a held ball. The possession arrow will keep it with UCLA. Sean Miller has taken Arizona to 3 Elite Eights. Is this team ready to take the next step and to get to the Final Four? They're certainly in the conversation. Both of these programs certainly in the conversation for a potential spot in Glendale, Arizona.
Both these teams are Final Four talented, but the issue really is experience. They're very, very young. 2 of the youngest teams in the bottom third of Division I in experience. Good hesitation.
Nope. A foul before the shot attempt. It'll go on ball for UCLA. Their head coach, Steve Alford, in his 4th season with the Bruins, 90-43. Last year, of course, they didn't have a good year at all. Finished 15-17, 10th in the Pac-12. But in large part due to Lonzo Ball and TJ Leaf. Bryce Alford moving off the ball, freeing him up to be more of a shooter scorer, not worrying as much about playmaking. This is a totally different Bruins team.
Yeah, usually Steve Alford's teams get better throughout the year. Last year's team didn't get better as we went through February and into March.
Alone underneath and converting on the reverse is Raleigh Alkins, the freshman from Brooklyn.
Raleigh Alkins went to Christ the King High School in New York. Another Arizona Wildcat years and years ago went to Christ the King. That was Khalid Reeves, played for the great Lute Olson here.
If this game is anything like the first game between the 2 this year, one thing I won't be saying tonight is shot clock violation. They're going to get up and down the court. That was a 96-85 win for Arizona in the first game that Alonzo Trier came back off the suspension.
That last miss, Dan, by Thomas Welsh, that was like somebody missing a layup. He's the best 15-foot jump shooter in college basketball.
He is pick and pop personified.
Unbelievable shooter. Mid-range. I mean, for him to miss that, that's almost shocking to miss an open shot. That's how good he is of a shooter.
Trier gets the switch, puts it on the deck, step back, jumper, got it!
How good has Alonzo Trier been over his last couple of games? Comes off a 25-point performance against USC where he went 7 of 11 from 3.
Leaf turns it over. Alkins, Trier, and the finish. Ball with a 15-footer to at least momentarily quiet the crowd.
Are you kidding me? I mean, they give up a layup, come down the other end. He splits a double team and then pulls up from about 12 and knocks it down. He's an ice water type player, Lonzo Ball.
Trier with the ball on him right now. Markkanen looking inside. Markkanen can play inside and out. A very good three-point shooter, as Jay told you about off the top of the show.
UCLA doing a much better job of the last 4 or 5 games of guarding ball screens. High hedge.
Three-pointer is there for Kadeem Allen on his senior night here in Tucson.
He really got the start because of his defensive ability to be able to guard Bryce Alford. With his size, he can control the game on the defensive end.
Alford off to Leaf. Three-point attempt, way short. Welsh the save. Shot clock didn't reset. Corner three is good for Hamilton.
How about the hustle by Thomas Welsh? That was a big-time play by Welsh.
Often overlooked with all of the big numbers that some of his teammates are putting up this year.
And still averaging 10.5 points and almost 9 rebounds a game.
You got one team with 6 guys in double figures, the other team with 5, and a 6th guy at better than 9 points per game. Welsh, another good rebound. He's been strong in the glass early.
Great outlet pass.
Ball, no call. Leaf, the finish.
Wait, you have to stop the ball. It's easier said than done, but you really have to stop the ball when Lonzo Ball's in transition. That was all set up by the defensive rebound by Welsh and the quick outlet.
Stopping the ball when Ball has the ball is easier said than done.
It is. You just set an NCAA record for saying ball in one sentence. Stay in your lane.
Allen off the back of the iron, and a foul will turn it back over to UCLA. What a start. Less than 6 minutes in. Up and down they go here at McHale Center. Alonzo Trier, outstanding talent with a couple of early buckets for Arizona, and Ball, the nationwide leader in assists, finds his buddy TJ Leaf. We got a tie game, and we got Jay Billis going 94 feet with Lauri Markkanen when we come back. The
dream for the young Finn.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by AT&T.
94 feet with Arizona's Lauri Markkanen. What's the best thing about living in Finland?
The cold weather.
You like the cold weather? What's the best thing about living here in Tucson?
The warm weather.
All right, what's your favorite food here in America?
Burritos.
How about your favorite food when you're in Finland?
Italian food, pasta.
What do you watch on TV?
Basketball.
Is it college basketball or pro?
Both, maybe more college.
Now, who recruited you besides Arizona?
A lot of schools, but my top 3 was Utah and North Carolina.
Came to Arizona. Good decision. Lauri Markkanen, 94 feet.
And aren't the Wildcats glad that he did come to Arizona? For here in Tucson, he has been Finland's greatest treasure. And from a basketball playing family, his dad, Pekka, played at Kansas and played for the national team in Finland. His mom played for the national team in Finland as well. So he comes by his ability honestly. Let's get more from Maria.
I talked to Lauri, and his dad is actually in the stands. He made his first trip to Arizona to be able to watch him. But Markkanen told me that his dad watches every single game, just happens to be online, so it's no different having him up in the stands. And he's a very quiet dad, guys. He doesn't come in and try to tell him what to do after every game.
Well, he's got to be awfully proud of his kid. And we talked about TJ Leaf committing to Arizona, then decommitting and going to UCLA. If they get Leaf, very doubtful probably that Markkanen comes to Tucson.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. But after we did that 94 feet, he says to me, how did I do? And I said, Lauri, you were the finest Finn we've ever had at 94 feet. What a nice kid.
Aaron Holiday pulls up for the 3. How can his favorite thing be both cold weather in Finland and warm weather in Tucson? Kobe Simmons. And Chance Comanche is fouled from behind by Isaac Hamilton.
Now, Dan, on this last play that UCLA had out of the timeout, Steve Alford ran a terrific play here. See, Isaac Hamilton's going to set a little screen here that's going to free up Thomas Welsh. And there you can see again how Thomas Welsh does a great job. You see the baseline runner, he turns, sets the screen inside, and that's that mid-range shot that Thomas Welsh never misses. He is the best 15 to 17-foot jump shooter in college basketball. It's remarkable.
There's a block and an impressive one for Ike Anabogu, who just checked in, and Ball will get the bounce and count the bucket.
Special. He's special. I mean, what a great block by Ike Anabogu. That's turning defense into offense. I mean, this young man, you talk about special, he's going to be special. He's barely 18 years old. Knocks that ball, keeps it in play. And Lonzo Ball, I mean, you think you can teach this? Left hand in transition, gets bumped, knocked down, and is going to step to the line.
Misses the free throw. Ball is going to be one of the top picks in the NBA draft. There's no disputing that. He may not be one, but he's not going to be there past 3 or 4 probably. And as many people out west, probably some people back east know, he's the oldest of 3 brothers. LiAngelo, a high school senior, LaMelo, a high school sophomore, have both committed to play at UCLA.
Little 3-2 zone right now by UCLA with Lonzo Ball out top. That's some length and size out at the top of that zone.
Trier misses the 3, rebound Leaf.
Well, you had better get back in a hurry against UCLA because they attack off makes or misses.
Ball to Leaf and a foul. So Steve Alford excited not just to have Lonzo Ball, but he's gotten the whole family. He's got LiAngelo, who's coming next year. LaMelo is the high school sophomore, kind of became a YouTube sensation or an internet sensation a couple of weeks back when he scored 92 points in a high school game.
Well, UCLA does that just about. They average 92.
Yeah, but he did it all by himself.
Oh.
They scored about 140 in that game.
I love Chino Hills. I love my bike.
Chino Hills, south of LA, but between Ontario and Anaheim. And Dad LeVar Ball, obviously very proud of his sons, very vocal about all of his sons' ability, most notably Lonzo, recently saying, you know, you put Lonzo with the Warriors instead of Steph Curry, making some comparisons saying his son was as good or better than Steph Curry right now. Well, not afraid to speak his mind about how talented his kids are.
A nice job by Dusan Ristic to step in front of the defender in that 3-2 zone. And he can go over either shoulder, a very skilled big man.
Hamilton off a screen, back to Ball.
So many weapons for this UCLA team. And all of them can pass it. That's out of bounds.
And it's over to Arizona.
UCLA went to a little 1-2-2 3/4 court press. That was just to slow the advance for Arizona. And that basically means that UCLA won't have to guard for quite as long in the half court. Now they're back to man-to-man.
Parker Jackson Cartwright in the game for Arizona, number 0 in white. And we've got a foul going against Kobe Simmons on the handoff, called for a moving screen. Timeout on the floor. When we come back, Seth Greenberg with UCLA head coach Steve Alford. Hey, a great Saturday of hoops continues right after this game tonight. Number 1 and undefeated Gonzaga, home to BYU as their run for a perfect regular season continues. It's also streaming live on the ESPN app and Watch ESPN. Back here in Tucson, Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, Maria Taylor, and Seth Greenberg with Steve Alford.
Coach, you're on an 11-2 run. What's been the biggest difference?
Well, I like our pace. You know, I like how we like to play fast, and I like where the pace and direction's going. If we can keep this pace up for 40 minutes, I think it favors us.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.
And he does like them to play fast. He's got unbelievable offensive weapons. They're averaging 92 points per game, shooting 53% per game, leading the nation in assists. As in off the bench and missing the 3 is Gigi Goleman.
Only hit 1 3 on the season, but Goleman, a skilled player that can step away and a good passer. Now back to the 3-2 zone.
Dusan Ristic inside and is fouled by Goleman, who got the worst of it as well. Took a shot to the face, and Ristic will be heading to the line.
Dusan Ristic is such a skilled player. Had 10 points against USC on Thursday night, went 5 of 8 from the field. But he uses fakes very well. Pivots, and he pivoted right back into Gigi Goleman.
That was a game in which they trailed early, trailed by as many as 9 or maybe even 11 against USC in the first half. Came back to win 90-77. And Sean Miller, really for one of the few times this year, the last couple of games, he's got his full complement. I shouldn't say that because Ray Smith is injured, and Ray Smith did not play at all this year for your heart breaks for the young man. Tore his ACL for the third time, once the left, twice the right. There's Ray Smith in the middle, and eventually said, you know what, I can't do this anymore. And with great dignity and maturity announced his retirement and thanked everybody and says he feels blessed even though he's unable to play ball anymore. But other than Ray Smith, amongst the players who have played on some occasion this year, Sean Miller has his full complement right now. Pretty tight rotation of 8 as Anabogu slams it home for the Bruins.
Well, that was created by Lonzo Ball off that horn set. You cannot stay in front of him.
How many 7-footers can do that?
Not many. Lauri Markkanen is incredibly skilled. He can play inside, he can play out, he can play 3, 4, 5. I can count.
He draws the Dirk comparison. He's European, he's a 7-footer, he's got a good perimeter game. Do you think the Markkanen-Nowitzki comparison is, and I think neither one of us are really, we don't like forcing comparisons, but is it valid in your opinion?
I do think so, because he can score, and he can score from the perimeter. Great pick and pop big guy that can put the ball on the floor. He's still young. Referee's talking with Sean Miller. He didn't like that call, but I think had that ball gone in, they would not have called that foul on Lauri Markkanen.
Anabogu gets the first to go as the conversation continues between Eric Curry and Sean Miller. Anabogu's a guy who's playing behind some pretty talented people up front in Welsh and Leaf. If Anabogu were getting starters minutes, he'd be about an 11-point, 9-rebound, and maybe most importantly, 3-block per game guy. We saw an incredible block already earlier tonight.
Well, he gives them a big lift when he comes in. But you're right, they've got so many other options, and they can keep the floor spread with so many of their perimeter players. And remember, Prince Ali is injured. I mean, this is a really deep UCLA team.
Ristic surrounded again, and he traveled.
This zone is a really good call by Steve Alford. They've been playing it for a good part of the season, and Arizona has not handled it quite as well as they're going to need to. And USC on Thursday night played a lot of 2-3 zone against Arizona. They started with a 1-2-2 3/4 court press.
Another whistle and a foul. The crowd getting angrier and angrier as the calls continue to go against Arizona. That's Markkanen, and that's his second.
And one thing that UCLA does really well, they spread the floor and they cut. They're a good cutting team, and because they pass and share the ball, boy, if you hold a cutter or try to bump a cutter, you have a chance of picking up a foul.
And Markkanen will stay in the game with 2 fouls. Bryce Alford, tough shot off the glass. And we've got another foul call.
Looks like I got wristage. Nope, Kadeem Allen.
And it's before the bucket by Alford, so no basket, but another foul.
Just all the movement. And you can see that once Alford gets past Allen, Allen just bumps him there and picks up the foul. But Alford moves so well without the ball. How about this for Bryce Alford, Dan? He is going to, if he stays healthy, he's going to finish his career top 5 all-time on the UCLA scoring list.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing.
Better than 1,800 points. He's 6th right now. 5th is Toby Bailey. It would be almost impossible for him to get above 5th. But to finish 5th at a school with the tradition of UCLA is remarkable.
And if he stays healthy, he's very likely to break the 3-point record held by Jason Capono. That's a terrific career by Bryce Alford at UCLA.
The last foul on Kadeem Allen, his second. He's gone to the bench. Markkanen in the game with 2 as Trier knocks down another 3. You talked about how hot he's been lately. 8 for 11 on threes his last 2 games coming into this one.
Well, that was made possible by Parker Jackson Cartwright just getting into the gap. Holy cow.
And Ball with the answer at the other end. It's not the most conventional looking shot, but the results are good. He's 42% from beyond the arc.
It's like a Jim Furyk golf swing. You know, it's a tortured route, but at impact, it's in perfect position. At his release point, it's in really good position. And it goes in.
And as a point guard who's 6'6", he can get his shot off.
Oh, he can shoot over people.
Yeah.
You know, much like Keith Wilkes, later Jamal Wilkes at UCLA, you know, how he gets into the shot, not particularly beautiful, but when he lets it go, watch at its release point. That's good. That's pretty good up there.
Yep.
And you know what? It goes in, and it goes in at a high rate. He's over a 40% three-point shooter, and he's hit over 60 of them. Kid's a player, man. He is a player. I hesitate to say he's a baller, but he is. He's like Jason Kidd.
Leading the country in assists at better than 7.5 per game. Jackson Cartwright with the hesitation, and the smallest player on the court seeks out the contact inside and draws the foul.
Well, Parker Jackson Cartwright's another guy that's been playing well in his last few ball games. His last 3 coming into this one, he's averaging over 13 points a game, and in that 3-game span, he's gone 10 of 14 from three-point range.
Heading into the final week of the regular season, a big Monday. A couple of great games coming your way. North Carolina and Virginia, both of these teams picked up wins on the road today in the ACC. And then Oklahoma and Kansas from Allen Fieldhouse. Big Monday presented by eBay. The Jayhawks, the Big 12 champions again, 13 years in a row.
One of the truly great accomplishments in the history of college basketball. And this team in blue did the same thing under John Wooden, winning 13 Pac-8 titles in a row back then.
Alford the miss. Comanche turns it over, and Ball converts.
He just has a great feel for the game. That's awareness that most players don't have. Picks it off and then gets it up quickly before Chance Comanche can get up there and block it.
And the UCLA lead is back to 5. Arizona winning at Pauley Pavilion last month. The Bruins trying to even the score here as Simmons is fouled by Holiday.
Lonzo Ball lying in wait. Just taking that ball away as Chance Comanche tries to throw it to Parker Jackson Cartwright. And, watch his eyes here, kind of like Mike Singletary. Taking that thing away, avoiding the contact and getting that ball up off the glass quickly before it can be blocked. It's just stuff you don't teach.
At the line for Arizona, 6'5" freshman Kobe Simmons from Atlanta, named for Kobe Bryant, although he spells it differently. This Kobe spells it K-O-B-I. This guy's a great athlete, McDonald's All-American, and averaging almost 11 points per game. Leaf runs the floor, kicks it to Alford. Yes!
Well, you have got to be there on the catch because Bryce Alford is always ready to shoot. Moves really well without the ball. And you said it before, Dan, with Lonzo Ball in the lineup, moving him off of the point guard duties, he's become a much more effective player.
His assists are way down, but all of his field goal and three-point percentages are way up because he's not having to create his own shot as often. Leaf, no. Trier in transition. Behind the back. And the finish. That's impressive.
Alonzo Trier with that last bucket, but it has been a lot about Alonzo Ball. Alonzo to Lonzo. Lonzo Ball, maybe his dad's right. This kid's the real deal.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Travelocity. Wonder wisely.
Well, as you can see, the roaming gnome, he's a valued part of our team here at ESPN, and he's literally gotten into the action here in Tucson, and he joins us now. Welcome, Gnome.
Thank you, Dan. Been a pleasure traveling with your team.
I understand you were quite the man on the town last night, Nomi.
Let's get back to the action, shall we?
Boy, did I just get slapped down by the gnome?
Boy,
the gnome
he's
told
had
me
it with you.
Gnome just told me to mind my own business, get back to the game.
Maybe because you called him Nomi.
I don't know him well enough.
You don't know him well enough to call him Nomi. He has enjoyed himself in the desert. We have enjoyed ourselves in the desert the last couple of days. Take a look now at On the Road, presented by Travelocity, and away from home, UCLA 11-2, including a very memorable game, one of the best games of the college basketball season that went at Rupp Arena earlier this year. Right now, Joe Lunardi has UCLA as a 4 seed. He has Arizona and Oregon both as a 2 seed, obviously subject to change based on the outcome tonight, the Pac-12 tournament, and so on. But no matter what seed they are, no matter what seed they are, without question, there are 3 programs of the Pac-12 capable of doing a lot of damage in the tournament.
Yeah, perhaps Oregon more so than anyone because of their experience. You know, the Ducks have been there before to an Elite Eight. I think that has great value, but there is no way that UCLA is going to be a 4 seed. They're too good, and too good offensively. And they've won too many quality games.
If Gonzaga wins out in the regular season, they're the one in the West, right?
Yes.
So then if you're one of the 3 Pac-12 programs, Oregon, Arizona, UCLA, one of them's probably going to be the 2 in the West.
Right.
And the other 2 will probably have to leave the West. Whether they're 1, 2, 3, 4 remains to be seen. Right now, our bracketology expert Joe Lenardi has Gonzaga as the 1 in the West. And as you can see, he's got Oregon and Arizona both as 2 seeds.
Markkanen needs to get going. Got to switch.
Left hand, not there.
Good job by Thomas Welsh to challenge that shot.
Alford from ball. How quickly did they get down the court?
That's like NBA Golden State Warrior stuff. Lonzo Ball finding Bryce Alford, who's just running to that 3-point line. And he's really not running to the line. He's running 5 feet beyond the line.
Steve Alford told us they had a preseason trip to Australia, the first chance for Ball to play with this entire team. And Steve said that his son, Bryce, looked at Lonzo right away and he said, hey man, you don't have to defer. You don't have to ease your way into this. He said, go do what you do. And that Alford accepted right away being off the ball, getting a chance to play more as a 2 guard. And the results, the numbers are there for him this season.
Yeah, he's knocking down big numbers. Yeah, he made 9 threes in a game.
Quick timeout. We're back to McHale Center in a moment. On UCLA and Arizona. UCLA with the lead, and the Lonzo Ball, Bryce Alford connection clicks again for the Bruins. And Ball, not just a guy who's a great passer, he does a lot of other things as well.
He's controlling the game essentially at both ends of the floor now. He's at steals. That was a basket-saving block from behind, but his vision is absolutely extraordinary, and he's a willing passer. He's willing to pass ahead. You know, and I said it before, and I think it's really important about Lonzo Ball. He can control the game from the point guard position without dominating the ball. He gives it up, and his teammates give it up as a result. That ball moves. And it is, UCLA offensively is a beautiful team to watch.
Leading the nation, 22 assists per game. Baseline jumper, Markkanen.
He is such a talented young player, and he's only going to get better and better. Talk about a guy who's just scratching the surface of his ability level. That's Lauri Markkanen.
Leaf in the post. Tough shot off the glass.
TJ Leaf has proven to be such a tough basketball player. Leads UCLA in scoring, rebounding, field goal percentage. Coming off a 25.9 rebound game at Arizona State. And his reputation coming out of high school, the scouts wondered, hey, how tough is TJ Leaf? He's proven how tough he is. That's a terrific wraparound pass by Alonzo Trier, and nice little fadeaway jumper along the baseline. And TJ Leaf goes right into the contact and able to finish off the glass. Another skilled player that can step away, knock down threes. He can drive it, more of a right-hand driver. And another excellent rebounder, averages about 9 rebounds a game.
Trier at the line for Arizona. Sean Miller got a few minutes out of Lauri Markkanen with 2 fouls, but he just now took him out of the game, and Keanu Pinder is into the game for the first time for Arizona, 6'9" junior from Australia.
Hey, you just have to be careful with Markkanen. You don't want him picking up his 3rd foul before halftime. Now, one thing for Arizona, because you're playing a team in UCLA that can score so efficiently and put so many points on the board, it's incumbent upon Arizona to make sure on the offensive end that they're tough offensively and they get a shot every time down, and a good shot. They've got to score.
Crossover Allen, a hard drive, and a hard foul on Thomas Welsh.
Well, that was a great decision because Kadeem Allen had Bryce Alford on him. Anytime that Alford is guarding a ball handler, they want to drive him. And Alford got caught looking for the ball screen instead of just staying in front of the ball. Two reasons you want to drive Bryce Alford. One is he's not UCLA's best defender. The other part is you want to make him guard every time down so you can try to at least take away his legs for later on in the game. Maybe some of his shots come up a little bit short. That's an old Rick Pitino thing. Take away shooters' legs by making them guard.
Well shot with the second foul. Anabogu back in for UCLA. A little father-son moment there near the UCLA bench. Steve Alford, Bryce Alford.
How proud do you think Steve Alford is of that son of his with all he's gone through? Because he's taken a lot of criticism in Westwood and beyond being the coach's son, but he is a terrific college player. Just terrific.
As Reese Davis said pregame, this is the toughest environment in the Pac-12, and it's getting loud right now with Arizona looking to make a little run.
Lonzo Ball out of the game, and I think Arizona's got to feel comfortable that they can make a run.
Alkins to Allen, who's coming back from a dislocated pinky last week. Alkins everything but the finish, and Anabogu comes out of the pack.
Yeah, that was a man's rebound. That was a crowd.
Alford, quick release, and a foul called on Kadeem Allen. He thought he got it clean. Two officials blew their whistle and raised their arm at the exact same moment. And for Allen, that is his third foul.
You don't want to foul jump shooters, obviously, but that's what Bryce Alford can do to you. He'll pull up from anywhere, and I did think that Allen got him on the arm here. Yeah, he got him right on the hand as he was releasing the ball. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. He fouled him. That is such a big play in this game, Dan, to get a third foul on Kadeem Allen, who is Arizona's best perimeter defender. Guy who leads the team in steals, deflections. Just a tough player on the defensive end.
And again, this is his senior night, so he wants to stay in there as much as he can. He's got three. Markkanen sitting beside him. He's got two.
Well, that's the problem. I mean, you're trying to contest everything with UCLA. And sometimes you can take it a little bit too far. Here comes the trap. Now back to the 3-2. But it's got Aaron Holiday up top. That's not quite as much length and size as when Lonzo Ball is in there.
So a good breather here for Ball for a few minutes. Jackson Cartwright can't finish. Pinder, though, is there.
Boy, what a rebound. Well, that's what Keanu Pinder needs to do when he's in there. The hustle play that he can make a difference.
Holiday blocked from behind by Jackson Cartwright. Save back to the Bruins. Alford, no. Great rebound by Leaf. Holiday open for three. Arizona ball.
Boy, some bullets dodged there by Arizona. How about that rebound by TJ Leaf and having the presence of mind to look out for the step-in three.
Schreier into Comanche. Trying to back down Anabogu. He coughed it up. Numbers for UCLA. Holiday with a hesitation and the slam.
Well, he had Isaac Hamilton down the left side. He just gave him a little look, and it looked away the defender and opened it up for Holiday to keep it and take it all the way. Well, when the ball gets in the post, UCLA digs down, and they dig down for a steal.
Aaron Holiday, the younger brother of a couple of NBA players. Drew, who played at UCLA, and Justin, who played at Washington. His sister Lauren also played at UCLA. Alkins. Jackson Cartwright is open and buries it. We had a feeling it would be fun. UCLA and Arizona in a packed house, two of the top teams in the country. Number 4, number 5, trading buckets here in Tucson. Holiday with the slam for the Bruins. They're getting after it here in Tucson. Western looking to solidify things, down 10 to Indiana right now. great day, fun day here in Tucson. Great crowd for game day earlier today. Seth Greenberg doing what Seth Greenberg does. Selfies everywhere. Jay Will picking UCLA to win here tonight and getting TP'd as a result, but he's recovered nicely along with the coach there with Maria.
Well, usually we talk about what's going on in college basketball all around the nation, but you guys love this game so much. Let's just talk the game, and we'll start with Selfie Seth, I guess.
Selfie Seth, that's kind of unique. To me, Arizona, they've got to keep UCLA out of transition. If they can keep them out of transition and set their defense, they've been fine. Easier said than done, though, keeping UCLA out of transition.
Like David Chappelle said, die line, die line, die line. Lonzo Ball, Lonzo Ball, Lonzo Ball. It's going to come down to whether Arizona can defend him in ball screens because he's so brilliant. You're seeing why we call him a younger version of Jason Kidd.
All right. We see it there, and his dad is sitting right over our shoulder here, so he's watching his son play today, guys.
To Steph Curry.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, guys. Looking forward to the Alfa Romeo halftime report a couple of minutes from now.
That was a really good shot fake by Isaac Hamilton, but he needed to drive it.
Ball from the corner. And a foul underneath. If it's Ristich, it's his second. And it is Dusan Ristich, his second.
Because UCLA keeps the floor so spread, it gives the big guys a better opportunity to get to the offensive glass. And UCLA's big guys are hard to block out. Manny Bogu is really athletic. TJ Leaf is just relentless. Averages over 2 offensive rebounds per game.
Hey, tonight after BYU and number 1 Gonzaga, which is right after this game, it'll be Sports Center at night with Lisa Kearney and Kevin Connors. Everything from a busy day and night in college hoops, NBA, NHL, spring training. There were baseball games today, and also a report from Daytona.
Kevin Connors was an outstanding point guard at Ithaca College.
Yes.
They used to call him the Lonzo Ball of his league.
That seems impossible to me on a couple of levels, but we'll go with it.
Lonzo Ball's dad didn't have the guts to compare him to Kevin Connors.
Trier guarded by Ball, using the screen.
What a move.
Wow, what a finish for Alonzo Trier.
What a difference Alonzo Trier makes for this Arizona team. That was a big-time move along the baseline.
Lob inside, Leaf with patience. And a travel is the call. And Leaf saying, wait a minute, Comanche was all over me. Where's the foul?
Right now he's saying I was giving Chance Comanche a piggyback ride, but Alonzo Trier coming off the ball screen, gets right beyond Lonzo Ball and goes between 3 UCLA defenders, goes to the left hand and kisses it off the glass. That is a big-time move. Great hesitation and finish.
Alkins trying to back down Hamilton. 2-man game, Comanche, and a foul on Bogu.
That's a beautiful screen and hard roll to the basket, pocket pass. And Chance Comanche, who's really improved from last season. He's gotten stronger, made a lot of strides. That's the way you go hard to the basket and demand that the defense foul you. You're going to punch it on them. Arizona, with all the fouls, all the transition buckets they've given up, the paint they've given up, is tied.
They've got Ristich, Markkanen, and Allen on the bench. Allen's got 3. Markkanen and Ristich each have 2.
They battle. They just battle. That's in the DNA of this program.
1 of 2 in a tie game.
It was similar on Thursday night. Arizona was letting USC get to the basket in the first half almost at will. And still had a lead at halftime. Good drive.
And a good block by Pinder. And a foul on Ball. And good awareness there by Jackson Cartwright, really creating the contact. Second on Lonzo Ball.
And Parker Jackson Cartwright has come into this game. Usually would have been starting. But because of the defensive assignment, Kadeem Allen comes into the game to start. And Parker Jackson Cartwright's coming off the bench and has really made a solid contribution. Not only with his offense, but had a block. He had a block the other night against USC on Benny Boatwright.
And because of that foul, Ball's going to come out again for the final 48 seconds of the half. So it'll be Alford and Holiday along with Hamilton to the backcourt right now for the Bruins. First lead for Arizona since it was 11-9.
Got to figure when Arizona gets the last shot, they've got to go to Alonzo Trier because he has been magnificent in this first half.
No shot. It's an offensive foul on Aaron Holiday.
And guess who? Parker Jackson Cartwright staying low, and that shoulder goes down. Now, the Oscars are coming up next week. There was a little bit. Did he add a little bit? You're darn right, but he got the call, and he was in position. Going with the 3-2 zone. You got to watch out for a trap, but Trier's the guy you got to look to. He has been hot all half long.
6 for 7, 16 points. Jackson Cartwright from the elbow. Final seconds of the half. Hamilton. And Arizona will take a 4-point lead into the locker room despite the foul trouble they dealt with in the first half.
Just outfought UCLA down the stretch. Trier and Parker Jackson Cartwright were great.
Maria is with Sean Miller.
Coach, what allowed you guys to take the late lead going into the locker room?
Keanu Pinder. He just came in and started playing really hard, and sometimes, you get caught up in plays, offense, defense. If you have players who are just playing as hard as they possibly can, the value sometimes is way bigger than a made three. And to me, he changed the game when I put him in.
All right, in a back-and-forth game that's really fast, you're both shooting close to 50%. What is going to be the difference down the stretch?
They're really an unreal offensive team. Unless you're actually here and see the pace they're able to play at, we have to be really responsible in everything. If we turn the ball over, it leads to a three. If we don't get back, it leads to a dunk or three. So, certainly we have our work cut out for us, but the fact we're up 4, it could have been a lot worse.
Thanks, Coach.
A pretty happy coach, all things considered, with a 4-point lead at halftime over Steve Alford and UCLA in what's been a great game so far here in Tucson. Lonzo Ball, great for UCLA. Trier, great for Arizona. Alfa Romeo halftime report with Reese and the guys is coming your way after these messages. Expected in a game of this magnitude, UCLA and Arizona, some great performances. Lonzo Ball was terrific in the first half, 9 points, 4 assists. TJ Leaf chipping in with 8 points for the Bruins. Best player on the floor, though, was Alonzo Trier of Arizona, 6 for 7, 16 points and 4 rebounds. Arizona trailed most of the first half, but they're up by 4 going to the second half. Welcome back to Saturday Primetime, presented by AT&T. What a great environment, and what a big-time, high-level basketball game between 2 of the top 5 ranked teams in the country, UCLA and Arizona. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, back with you. What jumped out at you in the first half?
Arizona really fought through foul trouble. I thought the guard play from Alonzo Trier and Parker Jackson Cartwright was the biggest factor in that first half, and you mentioned it, Alonzo Trier, 16 points in that first half, really attacked off the dribble, whether it was man or zone, got into the lane, finished plays, was able to knock down some shots, but his drives. And Parker Jackson Cartwright, same thing. Here, the nice little hesitation. That's a big-time play he made with that left hand. His 16 points. He and Parker Jackson Cartwright combined for 25 in that first half. They went 8 of 10 from the field.
Let's go to Maria now with a UCLA report.
Dan, Coach Alford loved the way his team played during the first 15 minutes of the game, but he said the reason why Arizona took the lead late in the first half simply because they started playing sloppy and they stopped executing on defense, started fouling Arizona, giving them easy free throw shots, and allowed them to get back into the game offensively. So they're looking for more execution, especially in the final 5 minutes of the half.
All right, Maria, thank you. By the way, Maria's going to speak with LeVar Ball, Lonzo's dad, out of the under-16 timeout. And trust me when I say he's going to talk about something you're not going to want to miss. He made some remarks earlier today as his son goes coast to coast. LeVar Ball, who, as we mentioned in the first half, not shy to talk about the talent and potential of his son made some comments just a short while ago you won't want to miss, and I'm sure Maria's going to ask him about it.
Boy, and how good is Lonzo Ball in transition? Yeah, Seth Greenberg talked about keeping him out of transition. Well, good luck with that when he gets up ahead of steam.
Jackson Cartwright misses the three. Offensive board, Dusan Ristic. Loose ball to Alkins. And Alkins to the rim.
At every opportunity, Arizona is trying to attack the paint.
Ball hands it off. Leaf corrals.
How about that catch?
Hamilton with an air ball.
So I think there are too many threes being launched up by UCLA in the second half of that first half and the start of the second.
Trier gets inside easily.
Anytime you take a bad shot, Dan Shulman, it turns into a layup or an open three on the other end.
The return of Trier, the difference between Arizona being a good team and a potential Final Four team.
Isaac Hamilton started this game out with a bucket in his first opportunity, but he has really struggled offensively over his last 6 or 7 games.
Got Alkins on him. The drive, the floater, no. Tipped back in by Welsh.
Looked like that was still in the cylinder, but a good job by Thomas Welsh to go after that offensive rebound. Nobody put a body on him. Much better drive by Isaac Hamilton than settling for a jump shot.
Markkanen for three. And over the back is Alkins.
Well, after Arizona got an extra possession, Raleigh Alkins made sure they made the most of it. Catching that ball and taking it all the way to the basket, and Welsh and Leaf don't even get in the way. That's a big time finish by the freshman from Christ the King. TJ Leaf's got to touch the ball.
Gets a touch, good position, left hand over Markkanen.
Good pass by Isaac Hamilton. I mean, you got to get TJ Leaf the ball. He's the leading scorer for this team. He's getting single coverage. And he's got to be able to go against Markkanen and/or Ristic. Put another foul on him if they can.
Now Markkanen will try to answer at the other end. Can't do it. Smothered by a couple of defenders.
He drove right into Hamilton.
Ball with a push-off using the off arm. Number 3 on Lonzo Ball.
Well, that was a good call. That left arm came out. There it is. That's a push-off.
That's an easy call.
It's an easy call. Now look, did we see both Alonzo Trier and Parker Jackson Cartwright throw a little bit extra into it? Maybe. But there's no question both of those were fouls.
Ball stays with 3 early in the second half. Sat out for a couple of brief spots in the first half after he picked up his second.
And that means Alonzo Trier has got to drive him at every opportunity.
Markkanen with an 18-footer. Not shooting as many threes as he did earlier in the season, but a lethal mid-range game as well.
I think he's the best Finn I've ever seen.
Better than Hano Metala?
Yes.
Jackson Cartwright with blazing speed.
UCLA may need a timeout. I know they want to get down to the under 16. But they are giving up when they don't get a bucket. They've been giving up layups at the other end. That's got to be tightened up.
They have guarded better recently.
Another one.
Oh, it's going on the defense. Crowd thought it might have been the 4th on Ball. Instead, it's on Parker Jackson Cartwright.
Well, Parker Jackson Cartwright probably got him first. But there's no question that if they didn't call that first foul, that would have been a clear offensive foul.
That's a tough call.
It is a tough call, but I think it was the right one.
So disaster reverted for the Bruins. Alford, Welsh, Alford, Hamilton for 3. Big sequence as they take advantage of the second opportunity, and Sean Miller is livid on the Arizona bench.
He's livid at Dusan Ristic because Thomas Welsh was able to keep that ball alive. That cost him a step-in 3. Hamilton had been struggling, and he gets a wide. There's no better shot in basketball than a 3-point shot after an offensive rebound.
3-point lead, Arizona. When we come back, Maria with Lonzo Ball's dad LeVar Ball, who's always got something to say, and we promise you won't want to miss it. Plus, Lonzo goes 94 feet with Jay Billis out of the break as well.
The honors keep coming. His dad definitely wanted him to do this.
Back in a moment.
UCLA's Lonzo Ball, best player you've ever played against.
In high school, definitely Stanley, just because he's Stanley Johnson, yeah. Just being that big, that physical in high school, he's probably the toughest challenge I had.
Most points you ever scored in a game, any level?
Any level, my whole life, 54. That's what I tapped out at.
40 behind your brother.
Yeah.
All right, you and Steve Alford, if you had to play a game of horse, who wins?
I'm bringing him outside and see what I can do, but anything inside mid-range, he'd probably take me.
I don't think you could take him. Lonzo Ball, 94 feet.
I'm not sure taking Steve Alford outside is going to help Lonzo Ball. Lonzo, you're great, but your coach, he could shoot.
He could really shoot.
3-point lead, Arizona over UCLA. There is a report online tonight that LeVar Ball, Lonzo's father, gave an interview to an Arizona radio station earlier today on a cracked phone and said, apparently, quote, my son will only play for the Lakers. This is according to an Arizona-based radio station. If that is true, that he said that, what do you think?
Well, he's leaving out 29 teams that have a lot of money.
Yeah.
I would go wherever I'm drafted. Look, Lonzo Ball is going to have a great career as long as he stays healthy. He's the real thing. He's really, really good. But look, he's going to go where he's drafted, and he'll play well for anybody.
And we'd like to apologize. There's been a case of mistaken identity here. We were told that LeVar Ball's dad was here and would give an interview. He was misidentified to us. He is not here, as far as we know. So we apologize for hyping an interview that obviously can't happen. As Markkanen knocks down the shot to give Arizona a 5-point lead.
UCLA has had good success getting the ball into the paint and driving it. They don't want to just settle for jump shots. Put Arizona in a position to pick up a foul.
And a steal by Kobe Simmons. Remember, Ball's got 3 and he backs totally out of the play, but Simmons can't finish the layup. Ball protecting himself against the 4th. Great ball movement, and Ball finds Welsh for the jam. Crowd wanted a technical on Welsh for hanging on the rim.
No, they've had somebody underneath him, but what a spectacular pass by Lonzo Ball.
UCLA in the zone.
The 3-2 zone, Ball out top. This will help protect Lonzo Ball a little bit from picking up a foul. And Arizona's got to find a gap in the zone and drive it.
Comanche in the middle of the zone turned it over as he tried to turn and face.
Yeah, you can't catch and dribble. You've got to catch and face the defense and then make a play.
Allen with a rebound. So Allen in the game with 3 for Arizona. Ball in the game with 3 for UCLA.
Chance Comanche wants to be able to flash into the middle of that zone and get a middle touch. So you want to drive it, but you also want to get a middle touch on a pass.
Trier no. Markkanen can't follow. UCLA ball.
UCLA is doing a lot of standing right now. They've still got to attack.
Welsh from the baseline knocks down another jumper.
It's a layup, isn't it?
I mean, you talk about guys who know what they are, know what their skills are. Welsh knows exactly what he is.
Well, anytime UCLA needs a bucket, they can just play pick and pop with Thomas Welsh, and he will get it for them. Offense gets a little stagnant. So just run that little baseline screen. Good trap.
And Markkanen forced to use the timeout for the Wildcats. We'll step aside, 13:20 to go. UCLA back within 1 after the jumper by Thomas Welsh.
Well, Thomas Welsh, not only an outstanding shooter, but last 2 games coming into this one, 27 rebounds.
Will Cinderella live for one more night? This is it.
8 seconds to go.
At the buzzer. Got it!
These guys won't give up.
It is one of the great weeks of the year, no doubt about it. Champ week and a half, starting on Wednesday. with conference tournaments all over the place. Let's take a look at the longest NCAA tournament droughts. Of course, Northwestern has never been there. They seem to be in a pretty good position to make it this year. The other teams on this list who are projected to go in right now, according to Joe Lunardi, are South Carolina and Virginia Tech.
I think Northwestern is firmly in the tournament. I know they've got a difficult schedule. They're playing Indiana right now. Then they've got Michigan and Purdue before the Big Ten tournament. There's a lot of things that can happen. But if Northwestern doesn't get in, who does? Right. They got to take 68, don't they?
Yeah, you got to find, what, 37 at-large teams? By the way, Michigan playing well right now. They beat Purdue today.
Playing great.
Yep.
And Arizona, against this zone, cannot settle for jump shots. Thus far in the ball game, the difference has been Arizona getting to the free throw line, knocking their free throws down. They've done a really good job on the glass as well.
UCLA looking for the lead. Welsh gives it to them.
Another pick and pop situation on the left side, an open side. And for anywhere, that's a layup. That's the caliber of shot that's a layup for any other player. That's how good of a shooter Thomas Welsh is.
So many different weapons for both teams, but especially for UCLA offensively. 6 in double figures. Marquette, the only other Division I team that has 6 players averaging double figures.
Now take a look at Thomas Welsh here on the left side with Lonzo Ball. And you know that if you get open, Lonzo Ball is going to find you. And as the ball is reversed here, watch this little pick and pop here. He just releases, catches by the Pac-12 logo, and it's down. I mean, that's just great basketball and pretty simple. You've got to guard the ball. The ball is the priority in that pick and pop. But then Thomas Welsh, if he's open, that thing is good.
And Maria Taylor's got more.
Well, how about this? When Thomas Welsh was growing up, his backyard court only went out to 15 feet. So he said that that's the only shot that he used to ever shoot. So imagine if it went all the way back to the three-point line. Maybe it'd be a layup from there, too.
That's funny. But he is money from 15 feet.
Well, Maria, he grew up in Redondo Beach, California, the mean streets of Redondo Beach. I grew up in the toughest neighborhood around there, Rolling Hills.
Sounds tough.
You got to be a tough hombre in Rolling Hills, I'm telling you.
UCLA back on top, led by Redondo Beach's Thomas Welsh.
I mean, you're on the hill, and you leave your BMW open, your Gucci loafers are gone, man. Gone.
And number 1, undefeated Gonzaga will take on BYU as they look to keep a perfect season together. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. UCLA, Arizona. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis, Maria Taylor, and the coach, Seth Greenberg, endeavoring to get Sean Miller.
Sean, you got 3 4-minute games left. What are you trying to get done in the next 4 minutes?
You know, they went to their zone, Seth, and we lost a little confidence. You know, we got to move it a little quicker, get into it a little quicker to generate some good shots, and then obviously always defense against them.
Great, thanks, man.
Always defense against UCLA, the best offensive team statistically in the country this year. Leaf shakes Markkanen and slams it down with 2 hands.
Boy, how about that little jab right and then the left-hand drive past Markkanen?
Trier with the answer at the other end, and Trier's big night continues. He's got 20.
Well, UCLA can't keep him out of the lane. He has owned the paint. He's got blue paint all over his shoes. What a difference Alonzo Trier makes for UCLA. Great drive.
Leaf driving again, but wait, a whistle before the shot and a foul going against the Wildcats.
Looked like they got Alkins with his hands all over him. And that's one of the areas where in college you'd like to see continuation. I mean, that was a great drive. Here's the first one by TJ Leaf. Talk about a fabulous finish. That's 2 great freshmen, Leaf and Markkanen, going head to head.
And Leaf driving again, and Markkanen is called for the foul this time, and that'll be his 3rd, and that's 3 trips in a row where Leaf has said, you know what, I'm quicker than the guy guarding me, or I think I can get by the guy guarding me.
Well, this is why I was saying before that I thought UCLA needed to drive the ball and get to the rim instead of settling for jump shots. That'll open up some open shots if they drive it more.
Hamilton driving. Rebound, Aristich.
Sticking with the 3-2 zone. Get into a gap. Make 2 play 1.
Bryce Alford checks back into the game now for the Bruins.
UCLA is so explosive offensively. It's just a matter of time before they're going to break loose and put some points on the board. That's why it's incumbent upon Arizona to run really good offense.
Bruins in the zone. Arizona saw some zone from USC Thursday night, but shot the three very well. 11 for 20. Not having the same kind of success tonight.
Well, they saw 2-3 in that one.
Shot clock running down.
Walk.
And a turnover gives it back to UCLA.
Well, this 3-2 zone has really taken a lot of rhythm away from Arizona. And basketball is a game of rhythm. You want to establish yours and disrupt theirs.
Crowd rising to its feet now at McHale Center.
UCLA going to his triangle motion.
And Leaf turns it over trying to drive. Trier. Extra pass to Allen. Open three from the wing.
They're not going to get a better jump shot. That was a really good pass and reversal.
You can see both teams struggling tonight from beyond the arc. But as you've said on a few occasions, they both had success when they drive the ball into the paint. Three for Holiday. Yes.
See the movement and then getting it to Bryce Alford in a little bit better rhythm.
Arizona winning at Pauley Pavilion last month. UCLA trying to exact a measure of revenge here on Arizona's home court.
Aaron Holiday is a really good scoring combo guard. And once Bryce Alford curled that screen and got into the middle, all 5 defenders really squeezed inside that three-point line. And that opened it up for Holiday to get a wide open three.
And he's really the 6th starter on this team. 13 points per game and 26 minutes per game off the bench. One-handed rebound there by Ball. Alford keeps the dribble alive.
And that's smart to keep that dribble. When you go baseline, you don't want to pick up your dribble. Get to the other side, something will open up.
Crowd trying to help the Wildcats to a much-needed stop here. Wow. Alford with a deep one.
Boy, that was deep. That was near the hash mark.
His third of the night. Timeout taken by Sean Miller as the UCLA lead has grown to 7.
Now, you can play good defense on UCLA. They're still going to score. This is a fabulous offensive team. That's why Arizona's got to be really good on their offensive end. At times, you're just going to have to match it.
Well, he was ready to shoot as soon as he caught that ball, wasn't he?
He's always ready to shoot. He came out of the womb ready to shoot. He's an Alford.
Well, the son of head coach Steve Alford making his 134th start tonight for the Bruins. As you mentioned earlier, at times has gotten a lot of criticism in the past 3 years, was more of the primary ball handler, so he had to look for others, had to create his own shot, had his ups, had his downs. But here he is, 6th all-time, not that far away from being 5th in points. 2nd all-time, will eventually be 1st in threes. 7th all-time in assists at UCLA. I mean, the numbers speak to a very, very good career in Westwood.
Well, he's a gamer. And he's always been a good passer, a low turnover guy. But he can really shoot it. That's what sets him apart. And when you can move without the ball and he can hunt his shot, he's been that much more effective having Lonzo Ball take over the primary point guard duties. So in essence, UCLA's got 2 point guards out on the floor.
UCLA's gotten a lot of minutes out of Lonzo Ball with 3 fouls.
Now, can Arizona get the ball into the middle of this zone, whether by the pass or the dribble? Right now they're operating on the fringes on the outside of the zone. And you're not going to be able to pick up fouls out there.
Trier baseline drive. Floater from the baseline, good for Allen.
Much better attack of the zone. Great drive by Trier, followed by another great drive by Allen.
Alford comes off a screen. A little strong on the 15-footer. Great rebound by Goleman.
And these are the extra possessions where UCLA can really hurt you. You play some good defense, you get them to miss a shot. You have got to get that rebound.
Almost out of bounds, but Holiday picked it up just before it rolled over the line, or on the line. Now he'll take a deep three and bury it.
Well, UCLA is in a great rhythm, and that's where Parker Jackson Cartwright, his size hurts a little bit. Because he could not get up there and really pressure that shot by Aaron Holiday, who's got a little bit, he's not that much taller, but he's got more length.
Second half, Arizona's 0 for 7 from 3. UCLA's 4 for 6.
Well, this defense has really taken away the rhythm of Arizona on the offensive end.
Shot clock at 5. Allen forces from the baseline, and the rebound to Goleman.
Arizona needs a stop right here. This has the feeling of something that can start rolling downhill on the Wildcats, as UCLA they're starting to feel it.
Goleman the kick to Holiday, 7 to shoot. Ball will launch it from deep. Not this time. Holiday with the offensive rebound.
When the shots are, that was a deep one, and then you've got Parker Jackson Cartwright having to box out Aaron Holiday, and Holiday's just stronger.
The lead has grown to 10 here in Tucson. 6:47 to go. Back to Andy Katz in the studio. Coming up next Saturday night from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, the rematch between the Tar Heels and the Blue Devils. Number 10, number 8, Saturday primetime presented by AT&T. North Carolina won at Pitt today. Duke lost at Miami today. North Carolina having a great year. And what are you looking for 1 week from now between those two?
Well, North Carolina healthy up front. I remember Isaiah Hicks didn't play in that first matchup between the two. And to have him back, that means that North Carolina is going to have a distinct advantage inside. But how about North Carolina? They've got at least a share of the ACC regular season title. That's 8 of those in 13 years under Roy Williams. And it was funny. I saw the stat today. Over that same time period, Duke's won 2 regular season titles. Now, they've won 2 national championships as well, as has North Carolina. But that's really interesting that, North Carolina in the regular season has been really, really good.
Duke was without Grayson Allen today, kind of a lingering ankle injury that's bothered him throughout the course of the season. Duke will host Florida State during the week before traveling to Chapel Hill. We'll be there 1 week from tonight. Also, we are really looking forward to the ACC tournament, which will come from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn this year. Chance Comanche inside, and a much-needed bucket for the Wildcats.
And a terrific job to get the ball into the middle by the pass. Or Arizona is going to need to put up some points because UCLA is shooting 60% in this second half.
Welsh to Leaf. Back to Welsh. Short on the jumper. Tipped out by Leaf. And a fresh possession as Welsh gets it out to Alford.
Well, you play good defense, and then UCLA gets another opportunity.
Welsh with a mismatch. Alkins on it. And scores over him.
Well, just because Arizona couldn't corral that defensive rebound to finish their defensive possession winds up costing them a bucket.
And the second chance points, you just saw the numbers, squarely in favor of UCLA. Foul inside on Welsh.
Well, Comanche's been very active to get inside position. And those middle catches, middle touches in the zone can be really effective.
And so far tonight, Sean Miller, he would love to get more out of guys like Markkanen and Ristich, his 2 starters in the front court. They are a combined 5 for 15, 11 points, 5 rebounds between the 2 of them tonight.
Well, the zone's been part of that. That 3-2 zone that UCLA has played, oftentimes freshmen, that can get you to stand around. And it doesn't matter. Sometimes your zone offense, doesn't matter how good the scheme is. Freshmen get a little bit messed up by a good zone. And look, Arizona's going to see a lot of zone. They're going to see zone in the NCAA tournament. People are going to play them zone until they show they can really attack it.
Ball No basket. Foul before the shot. Steve Alford wants the bucket.
He does not need much space, does he?
No.
Get a little rub screen, just get a little bit past your man off that ball screen. And then Lauri Markkanen just reaches in instead of opening up.
And that's number 4 on Markkanen. 5:25 to go. Holiday is fouled. Holiday has given UCLA some really good minutes tonight.
Well, he's given them some good games throughout the year. I mean, you can point to any of UCLA's top 6 players and their top 6 scorers, and they've had big-time games. Holiday's coming off a game in which he had 17 points, 6 assists against Arizona State. He's a 50% shooter from the field, 44 from 3.
As a starter last year, as we mentioned, the 6th man this year, but gets starters minutes. He and all 5 starters scoring in double figures on the year.
I mean, think about this. Yeah, you got 6 double-figure scorers, as you just mentioned. 5 of their players, UCLA's, have 70 or more assists on the season. 4 of them have 200 or more for their career, including Lonzo Ball. He's only hasn't even played a full year. They've got 4 guys that have made 40 or more threes on the year.
Bucket inside, Comanche. They're the only team in the country that has 5 players averaging 2.5 assists or better per game.
Unselfish. And that makes them harder to guard. And look, this is a good defensive team that Sean Miller's got. I mean, Arizona can guard, but great offense can beat really good defense.
Leaf inside Welsh. Yes.
How about that catch, pivot, and finish by Thomas Welsh? Just a lot of weapons. A lot of weapons.
7 for 9, 14 points for Welsh. Kobe Simmons, who's had a quiet night for Arizona, and we got a held ball, and the arrow will turn it back over to the Bruins.
Lonzo Ball's just got a great awareness. And even though he's battled some foul trouble, he's not afraid to stick his nose in there. That was just instead of getting the steal, it winds up being a turnover just because of his awareness to go after the ball.
You know, rolled his ankle Thursday night at Arizona State, came out of the game, missed some time, came back in the second half, only scored 4 points, but has shown no ill effects from that ankle. That's the kind of injury sometimes the next day or the day after it can be worse, but he's looked fine here tonight.
Well, this is the time of year you want to be able to get your players as much rest as possible. And this is a tough road trip in the Pac-12.
A 3 for Alonzo Trier to make it an 8-point game.
Well, how badly did Arizona need that one?
A timeout, immediate timeout of the next whistle, and Arizona would love to go into that timeout with some momentum. Can they get a stop now? Welsh, too strong, but Leaf, another offensive rebound for UCLA.
Boy, the defensive glass is killing Arizona. They get Thomas Welsh to miss, which hardly ever happens from that range. And then they give UCLA another crack at it.
11 offensive rebounds for the Bruins tonight.
Another one.
Yep. Welsh the save.
How about that play by Aaron Holiday? That was a big-time play to keep that ball alive.
6'1" guard tips it back out, and now they can milk the clock a little bit.
Well, this has been a time of possession thing. Arizona spent the whole game on defense, it seems like.
It will stay with the Bruins when we come back. 2:50 to go here in Tucson, and UCLA looking for a huge road win.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by AT&T.
Tucson with Dan and Jay.
All right, Andy, thank you. So UCLA looking for a huge win. Right now projected as a 4 seed. Oregon and Arizona both on the 2 line, according to Joe Lunardi. What do you think UCLA deserves if they go on to win this game?
No worse than a 2 seed. I mean, I don't get, look, I know these are just projections and what's the committee going to do and all that kind of thing, but I just can't see a scenario in which UCLA is on the 4 line. I just can't see it. I mean, this is as good an offensive team as there is in America. They're getting better on the defensive end. And how about this? They've missed 13 shots in the second half. and they've got 8 offensive rebounds off those 13 misses. They're plus 15 points in second chance points, 19-4. I mean, they are just quicker to the ball than Arizona.
Holiday off the back of the iron. One of the reasons why UCLA may be a little bit lower than they should be or could be is some of their non-conference wins were against programs that were expected to be better.
Yeah, like Texas A&M, but
Ohio State.
They beat Michigan, and Michigan's improving and playing much better. I think those games need to be assigned a value at the time they're played. You know, the idea that you can beat somebody when they're bad, and then they play better later on the season, and we can say, boy, that win's getting better as this team improves. That makes no sense to me. You assign the value to the game at the time it's played. I mean, this team, you know, they got 5 guys. UCLA's got 5 guys in double figures right now in this game, and they'll get 6.
Trier makes it a 6-point game and still 2 minutes to go.
Well, that's 2 straight games that Alonzo Trier's had 25 points. At 25 against USC on Thursday, has 25 right now and counting.
Alford with the shot clock down to 7.
Defensive rebound is huge.
Wow, a good challenge there defensively, and Alford still makes it.
Yeah, that was a big-time finish by Bryce Alford.
Well, they scored and they ran 30 seconds off the clock. Arizona needs a quick score here. Trier gets the 3. Wildcats are out of timeout. Sean Miller used them all up as his team was floundering earlier this half. Career high 28 now for Trier.
Couple possessions ago, UCLA settled with Aaron Holiday's contested 3. Then Alford went to the basket. UCLA's got to go to the rim here.
Ball with a crossover. Trier stays in front of him. Alford deep 3. Markkanen the rebound.
Bad possession by UCLA. Great defense by Arizona.
Markkanen thought about it. Seconds are ticking away. Markkanen inside draws the foul.
Well, it took a lot of time, but ultimately a good result for Arizona off that drive by Lauri Markkanen. And Markkanen, an excellent free throw shooter. Shoots about 84-85% on the season. And these are some big free throws here. If he can knock them both down, it's a 1-possession game.
Yeah, when they have technical fouls to shoot, he's the guy who shoots them. 7-footer goes to the line because he's so good. Worth mentioning again, no timeouts left for Arizona, down by 5. 29 seconds to go. Still to come, undefeated #1 Gonzaga at home to BYU. We will send you to Spokane as soon as this one is done here in Tucson. Well, one of the big stories all season long and again tonight, the number of different weapons UCLA has.
Well, UCLA's got 6 double-figure scorers on the season, and they've got 5 double-figure scorers in this game, and Isaac Hamilton with 8. This team can really score, and to come on the road in this environment and put on this kind of performance on the offensive end, and especially making the tough plays to get second shots, has been really impressive. And now for Arizona, if Lauri Markkanen able to knock down this second of his 2 free throws, Arizona does not have to foul right away. They can try to get a quick trap, get a steal, but then if they don't, they've got to foul. And the guys that you want to foul are Lonzo Ball or TJ Leaf. Both those guys shoot under 70% from the free throw line, but you foul Lonzo Ball. He is a gamer. Like, I don't put it past him to knock 2 free throws down under a pressure situation on the road. He doesn't seem to be affected by pressure at all. But everyone else that UCLA puts on the floor shoots well over 80% from the free throw line.
What's at stake here up at the top of the league? Arizona's a half game up on Oregon. Oregon won it Stanford earlier today. Oregon will finish at Oregon State. Arizona will finish at Arizona State. Oregon would hold the tiebreaker by virtue of their win over the Wildcats earlier this season. Three-point game.
Alonzo Ball taking it in, so that takes away the ability to foul Ball right away. You want to inbound if you can to Alford or Welsh.
Welsh, a terrific free throw shooter. Back to Ball. Alford cross-court. Holiday.
You can't choose.
And now the foul to send Holiday, an 82% free throw shooter, to the line for 1-1.
But had an opportunity to foul Alonzo Ball, couldn't get to him. Aaron Holiday, another good free throw shooter, 82% on the season.
Trying to block out everything that's staring right at him from behind the bucket. Right into the band in the student section.
Holiday can knock down just one of these. It's a two-possession game.
A miss. Arizona ball. No timeouts remaining. 18 seconds to go. Down by 3.
Can't allow a 3 here. Anything inside that line is okay for UCLA.
Here is the 3. And way long by Allen. And again, the seconds ticking away, and with just 1.2 to go, they foul Alford. Arizona had a good look to tie the game, but came up empty.
What a win for UCLA to come on the road into this environment after they got beat by Arizona at Pauley. Arizona got a good look. Had to rush it just a little bit, but on the ball reversal, a good look at it. Boy, you would rather have Alonzo Trier taking this. I mean, Kadeem Allen can make that, but he was way off. Alonzo Trier on the right side, 25 points. You want him taking that. But your point, Dan, about Arizona didn't have a timeout. You know, they had to go without being able to talk it over with Sean Miller and work something out, and they didn't get the ball to the right guy.
Think the Pac-12 tournament's going to be any fun?
Ooh.
3 outstanding teams. You alluded to this on game day and again off the top of the show tonight, but for those who haven't heard, if you had to pick Arizona, UCLA, or Oregon, which one to you has the best potential to make it to the Final Four?
Well, it's hard to pick against UCLA just because of how easily they score. I mean, it's so fun to watch this team play because they're so great offensively. They got so many weapons. But I would take Oregon. Oregon is so balanced offensively and defensively. They can really score as well. Tyler Dorsey's playing great. Dylan Brooks, they've got a guy who can carry a team and make clutch shots. He's already made a couple game winners. And then they can protect the rim, block shots, and they've got experience. They've been there before. They've been to the Elite Eight. And to me, when you've been there, I think it's a little bit easier to get there again and push through because you know what it takes. UCLA and Arizona, both outstanding Final Four caliber teams, but they're young. I mean, they got a ton of freshmen.
And if you assume that Kansas, Villanova, and the ace, say North Carolina, are all going to get a 1 along with Gonzaga, what's at stake for the 3 Pac-12 powers might be staying west,
yes,
as opposed to having to go to one of the other regions. A big win on the road here in Tucson for Steve Alford and the UCLA Bruins, 77-72 tonight, as they go to 26-3 on the season. Each of these teams winning on the other's home court this season. And Pac-12 tournament and the prospects of these two and Oregon heading into the NCAA tournament. It'll be a lot of fun to keep track of in the next few weeks. Senior night for Kadeem Allen ends in defeat. UCLA beats Arizona. BYU at Gonzaga. #1 undefeated Zags coming your way momentarily. But first, let's send it back to the studio one more time. Here's Andy Katz.